From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, terrorists release remaining Abuja-Kaduna train passengers 6 months after. All Progressives Congress Party governors NWC locked in crucial meeting over campaign council crisis. Government tasked to equip teachers with skills incentives. On the foreign scene, roadside bomb kills 3 UN peacekeepers in Central African Republic. Hello and a warm welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Ayinde Shuaga. The federal government says all the passengers abducted from a Kaduna-bound train on March 28 have been released. Secretary of the Chief of Defense Staff Action Committee, CDCA SAC, Usman Yusuf, announced this on Wednesday. Yusuf said the 7-man presidential committee assembled by the Chief of Defense Staff, Leo Irabo, secured the release and took custody of the 23 remaining passengers held hostage by Boko Haram terrorists following the attack on the Abuja to Kaduna train on March 28, 2022. He commended the Nigerian military and all security agencies for their efforts in securing the release of the passengers. Vigilantes have neutralized 2 terrorist camps, kingpins in Katsina State. The vigilante ambushed the terrorists who were returning from their heinous activities between Yarbudu and Kudewa villages. The terrorists rustled over 200 cows and sheep from Yaloma village in Patagarawa local government area of Katsina State. On hearing the incident, the terrorists mobilized their members from Zamfara State to avenge the attack on their members in Katsina. However, their mission was faced with resistance from the vigilantes at Mahuta village of Safana local government. The 2 notorious bandit groups engaged themselves in gun battle which lasted for several hours, killing many while others escaped with gunshot wounds. 6 governors of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and some National Working Committee NWC members led by the party's national chairman Abdullahi Adamu are currently meeting at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja. A former national chairman of the party, Adams Oshiomhole, is also part of the meeting. Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, Badaru Abubakar Jigawa, Simon Lalong, Plateau, Sani Bello, Niger, and Abdullahi Sule, Nasarawa, are also in attendance. Recall that the Director General of the APC Presidential Campaign Council and Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong had met with the other campaign members on Tuesday in Abuja. Details are sketchy as the closed-door meeting is still in progress. But sources at the meeting said it was aimed at resolving issues surrounding the composition of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. Professor Usman Yusuf, the Secretary Presidential Committee assembled by the Chief of Defense Staff that facilitated the release of the remaining victims, told Trust TV that no ransom was paid.
Right. So we have been, this tragedy happened on the 28th of March this year. And this committee, 7-man committee, was assembled by General Leo Irabo, the Chief of Defense Staff. The next day, on the 29th, and got presidential approval, and we have been working since then. So we've been in the field for 6 months. We spent our satellite here, out in the field, away from home. We've been meeting interlocutors, going into the forest, reaching out to families, doing all we needed to do to get everybody out. And this is a culmination of everybody's effort. There is not a single person or a single agency that can claim sole responsibility or credit. This is one operation I have seen, I have witnessed, that everybody came in. All the services came in under the leadership of General Irabo, the Chief of Defense Staff. Everybody came in, and this is what we got today. We would not have been able to secure the success that we did today without the military, without the full support, unwavering support of the President and Commander-in-Chief, without the patience and the prayers of the family members, and without the prayers and the support of all Nigerians. We don't pay ransom. We've been very consistent right from the very beginning. This committee is made up of 7 honorable men.
In the meantime, neighbors thronged the residence of one of the released victims of the abduction, Abdullahi Mohammed Barau, at Tununwada community in Kaduna, to rejoice with the family. Brother of the released victim, Tasiu Barau, said he had spoken with Abdullahi on phone after their release, adding that they are now undergoing medical check before they will be allowed to be reunited with their families in the morning.
All the pain that we have gone through for the past 6 months and 1 week, it has come to an end. They are free now. We are yet to receive them, but we talked with them on phone. My brother, Abdullah Muhammad, I spoke with him on phone. They gave him phone and we spoke. And I'm very sure, inshallah, by the grace of God, they will bring them back to their family tomorrow morning. Inshallah. Now they are undergoing treatment at the hospital. So when they are done with everything, they will bring them back to their family. I feel so much excited. My father was ill. He was so disturbed about this issue. And when I heard the news, I rushed and called him to tell him a good news. He was so excited, he was joyful. And alhamdulillah, everyone, as you can see, many people around us here, they are here jubilating.
The Nigerian Army Operation Hadarin Daji in Sokoto State has inaugurated a 12-member General Court-Martial to prosecute 68 personnel for alleged offenses. The General Officer Commanding A Division, Sokoto, Major General Uwembasi, who inaugurated the panel, said the offenses were committed during operations to dislodge bandits in Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Katsina states. He, however, tasked members to respect the principle of fair hearing. Meanwhile, the Defense Counsel, Godwin Uwadiaye, expressed optimism that the court would do justice to the accused. He said the operatives facing court-martial should have been moved to their respective units on bail, except for those who commit homicide or armed robbery offenses, which are punishable by death. Motorists in the Federal Capital Territory have called on the federal government as a matter of urgency to find a lasting solution to the long queues that have resurfaced in Abuja metropolis. In this report, Kabir Lawal, who visited some filling stations in the metropolis, reports that the motorists have expressed their displeasure over the resurgence of fuel scarcity in the federal capital city.
Fuel scarcity worsened in the Nigerian's federal capital city over the weekend, despite the repeated assurances from the government that the crisis will soon be over. Queues persisted in Abuja as people scrambled to get petrol for their cars and their electricity generators at a time of rising temperatures. The crisis, which has lingered for weeks and in some places like Abuja for several months, continued despite the federal government saying it has sufficient stock for distribution across the country. Motorists in Abuja are not pleased with the situation, which they said is worsening the economic outlook of the country.
This is not what we anticipated for. All we were thinking that democracy has come to stay. But with what we are seeing, it's a failure, it's a total failure. Each and every day people wake up and you see different things. It's like a drama. Nigeria has become a drama. It's so dramatic.
So ever started from the 1st of October. I think there had been sign of it, but Sunday wasn't really showing. But all of a sudden, yesterday,
The queue has become source of concern to all Nigerians. The queue has been long since in the morning that we came out here to sell our black markets. Some are not even allowing customers to purchase the product from their filling stations.
As we wake up, we see queue on filling station, and we don't know the thing that it causes. So this suffering is too much for us in this country.
Some respondents explain that one of the reasons for the long queue at the fuel stations is because of the grounding of petrol-laden trucks in Lokoja due to the impact of erosion there.
From what I heard, they said tankers are not coming in because of the water flood along Lokoja-Abuja Expressway.
I'm a black marketer and I'm here to hustle.
There is queue in the Nigeria. They say there is flood on the Lokoja. That is what caused this whole queue. The tanker there, more than 500 tankers are there. So they cannot cross to the north. That's what caused the queue.
So we don't want to use the word change. We want to use development. Nigerians should grow. Our political actors should think on a better way out for them to cough out this menace that we are in for. It's really a total menace.
They called on government to make the commodity more accessible and affordable as to reduce the stress of queuing for the product within the city center. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Some PDP stakeholders in Plateau State say they are not discouraged by the recent withdrawal of support by former Governor Jonah David Jang for the PDP presidential candidate. The former Plateau State governor, alongside other party members loyal to Governor Nyesom Wike, recently pulled out of Atiku's campaign team following the refusal of the national chairman of the party, Dr. Yochia Ayu, to resign his position to pave way for someone from the southern part of the country to take over. Ado Musa completes the report.
Soon after the former Governor Jang backed the decision of Wike's group to withdraw support for Atiku Abubakar, some PDP stakeholders in the state, under the umbrella of Plateau for Atiku Group, reiterated their support for the PDP presidential candidate, adding that they were not discouraged by Jang's decision, saying the decision was a personal choice of the former governor. An interim secretary of Plateau for Atiku, Professor Shedrack Bess, re-emphasized that the PDP presidential candidate remained their preferred candidate and believed that he will win the presidential election in the state come 2023. He said he hopes that before the general elections, the former governor will rethink and join Atiku's campaign team. But if he refuses, it will not stop PDP from winning Plateau State.
Like I said, I have given Senator Jang all his respect, all the honor that is due him as a leader in the PDP. But I know that if he comes to join the Atiku campaign, and I believe he will, that would be beautiful. If he does not come, that would be a personal choice, but it's not going to stop Atiku Abubakar from winning Plateau, because all the people of goodwill have come together. And I believe that Senator Jang will not openly campaign against Atiku.
The secretary, however, believed that the former governor is open to discussion, and when such avenue is provided, he will listen to the PDP presidential candidate.
Of being ill-advised, I believe he is experienced and exposed enough to know what is right, and we give it to him for his experience and pedigree and age, that he's not being ill-advised. We believe that he has some considerations. But one of the things that I know about is that he is open to discussion. And I believe that if he finds an opportunity for a one-on-one discussion with Atiku Abubakar, probably many things will change.
Professor Bez further said all other people of goodwill in the state have identified with Atiku and will ensure that he wins Plateau State in a very decisive manner in the next general election. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in Plateau State has appealed to eligible voters who have registered in the state to collect their permanent voters' cards, PVCs, before the upcoming general elections. The electoral umpire said about 50,000 PVCs are lying in the offices of the commission in the 17 local government areas of the state. Deputy Director, Head of Voter Education, Publicity, Gender and Civil Society Organizations of INEC in the state, Egurube Otokpa, made the appeal in an interview with Trust TV in Jos on the state of PVC collection in Plateau State. Adomusa again completes the report.
According to Egurube, more than 49,000 voters are yet to collect their PVCs across the 17 local government area of the state. While calling on the registered voter to come for their PVCs, he also urged leaders of various political parties and politicians to sensitize their supporters on the need to collect their PVCs before the general elections.
We appeal to indigents of the Plateau to come and keep their PVCs. Right now, we have about 49,000 PVC lying across the 17 local government areas on the Plateau. And we did appeal to various political parties through their leaders to sensitize the public, help us sensitize so that they come forward.
He further explained that for the newly registered voters, their printouts are available, adding that they will be told which of the local governments to pick their PVCs when they visit any of the local government offices of INEC.
The printout is there. When they come forward, they know where to pick it, the local government area. And by the time they get to the office, we have schedules of picking. So when you go there, it will not waste your time. You have the delimitation number, they just go and pick it and give you. So all the public to come and pick it because more they are being printed in batches.
Mr. Otokpa, however, reiterated that whoever doesn't collect their PVCs will not be allowed to vote during the exercise. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
18 political parties in Zamfara State have signed a peace accord to ensure peaceful conduct of the electioneering campaigns leading up to the 2023 general elections. Commissioner of Police, Zamfara State, Kolo Yusuf, while addressing the parties, announced a ban on quasi-security outfits and use of firearms during the campaigns in the state. The report.
This was the signing of the peace accord by the 18 political parties in Zamfara State, which is a demonstration of commitment that their members and supporters will exhibit good conduct and shun violence during the electioneering campaigns. The peace accord was organized by the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security to make political parties and their candidates promise the public that they will enjoin their members and supporters to promote peace and shun acts capable of provoking violence before, during and after the election. The Commissioner of Police in Zamfara State, CP Kolo Yusuf, assured the political parties and Nigerians that the security agencies will ensure fair, transparent, credible and violence-free elections. He said the police force will not tolerate any act of violence from any quarters.
Therefore, the committee is clearing house on election security matters, agendaed by the need to pull security assets together for efficient and effective deployment and management during the forthcoming elections. On behalf of my colleagues, I wish to welcome you to this peace signing accord by political parties and assure you of the committee's commitment and determination to create a conducive atmosphere for free, fair, credible non-violence election February 2023.
The Resident Electoral Commissioner in Zamfara State, Professor Babura Ahmed, explained the commitment of the Commission to leverage on technologies to conduct the 2023 general elections to ensure credible, fair, transparent and acceptable 2023 general elections.
I want to give assurance on behalf of African Action Congress and the good people in the States. We are very law-abiding citizens. As young as we are, we come for peace. And I urge all my colleagues, state chairman and their members, this is not a war, this is a game. It's either to win or to learn. We never lose.
Some political parties' governorship candidates were represented by their running mates, while others were physically present to sign the peace accord.
People's Democratic Party PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar on Wednesday received hundreds of defectors from other parties to the PDP at Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium in Bauchi. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed has said Atiku Abubakar will win the 2023 presidential elections and will unify the country by tackling numerous challenges threatening its corporate existence. Governor Mohammed explained that Atiku Abubakar signified the hope of the country and assured that Bauchi and other northern states will vote for him in the forthcoming presidential election. Atiku Abubakar urged people of Bauchi State to appreciate PDP in view of the performance of Governor Bala Mohammed by supporting continuity for better service delivery.
For the wonderful achievement. I believe when we start the real presidential campaign, again, we will witness a larger turnout than this. Don't listen to the doctors, mischievous people. We are all behind the PDP. We are all behind you. We must.
You're watching NewsHour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, myths around snake meat. Stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is NewsHour on Trust TV. A recap of our top stories. Terrorists release remaining Abuja-Kaduna train passengers 6 months after. And APC governors, NWC locked in crucial meeting over campaign council crisis. Moving to other stories, Nigeria's 3 tiers of government have been called upon to equip teachers with the necessary skills, incentives, and welfare to enable them effectively carry out their role of transforming and shaping the future of education in the country. The Nigeria Union of Journalists of Teachers, NUT, made the call at the commemoration of the 2022 World Teachers' Day. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu has the details.
The national president, Nigeria Union of Teachers, Titus Amba, in his remark at the commemoration event, called on federal and state governments to increase educational budgetary allocation in compliance with the internationally recommended benchmarks and harmonize the retirement age for teachers, among others.
Secondary education subsector are faced with serious challenges. These include non-implementation of 30,000 minimum wage for teachers in some states, shortage of teachers, poor infrastructure, lack of instructional materials, insecurity in school, inadequate funding, and poor condition of service in general. It is regrettable that this deplorable state of education and poor working condition of teachers adversely affect education service delivery, especially in the public sector. Let me use this occasion to reiterate our call on government at board level and stop. At both national and sub-national level to place high premium on education and afford teachers their pride of place in the society. In this regard, we will raise up as a nation to invest adequately in education by rising the budgetary allocation to education in line with the international recommended benchmark of at least 4% to 6% of the GDP and or 15% to 20% of the public expenditure.
On his part, the Minister of Education, Adamu Adamu, commended the NUT for not embarking on any industrial action during the period of the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration.
We call on first a local government to prioritize the welfare of teachers by raising their salaries on part-line tasks in their respective budgets.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, speaking on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, reiterated the determination of his administration to return teachers and the teaching profession to their rightful place in the country through the integration of technological advancement in teaching techniques.
Are able to be at the cutting edge of advancements in education and effective the use of technology and modern teaching methods. Education must respond to the dynamic, the speed of development, and the massive changes that are taking place.
Deserving teachers, administrators, and schools from parts of the country were presented with awards from the annual President's Teachers and Schools Excellence Award instituted in 2007 to recognize and reward their outstanding contributions to quality education delivery in Nigeria. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, Nnamdi Azikiwe University chapter, has accused the Minister of Labour and Productivity, Chris Ngige, of not telling Nigerians the truth about the state of ASUU and the federal government crisis. According to the chairman of ASUU, Nnamdi Azikiwe University chapter, the Minister of Labour has succeeded in misleading critical stakeholders in the struggle that the issues at stake between ASUU and the federal government are unsolvable. He urged students to pick up skills to develop themselves, pending when the issues will be resolved.
The Labour Minister has never been sincere in this matter, and we are yet to know what his interest is. And as the days unfold, we'll come to know what is his interest in this matter. He has never shown commitment to resolving this matter. While discussions were still going on, even while the meetings with intervention by pro-chancellors and vice-chancellors are going on, he went to court to get an injunction. So we are yet to get to what is actually his driving force or his vision or his mission in this whole issue. For him to hurriedly went and start registering other unions when a matter is in court, it shows that he has other interests, which we don't know. Well, ASUU is not saying that we cannot sit to discuss. All we are saying that government come. We have an agreement. If you can't implement this agreement, you come and sit down with us and we talk. We are Nigerians. We have several challenges in this country, and we can always sit down to discuss on how to surmount the challenges. When you now come to treat academics as if they are slaves, take it or leave it, and we can't accept that now. This country belongs to all of us. They should go and learn one or two skills, because that is also one of the things they need to do to survive in this country. Even if the governor or president that will come tomorrow has the magic way to fix this country, it's going to happen overnight. It's not something that will happen in 1 or 2 years. It's going to take a time because the damage has been done. So recovering this nation is going to take some period of time. And so, but the youth should be able to empower themselves by learning 1 or 2 skills. So even when you graduate and the job is not coming, you use it to support yourself. You can't go back to your parents to be asking for money.
Following the resumption of academic activities at the Nasarawa State University, KEFI, the management of the institution has set up a different task force to ensure compliance for lecturers who are currently participating in the ongoing strike by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. According to the institution, the task force, which is headed by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, is to ensure that deans monitor lecturers' resumption at the departments and faculties, ensure commencement of lecturers, and advise management on measures to be taken against lecturers who refuse to come to work. It will be recalled that management of the Nasarawa State University, KEFI, at its meeting on the 28th of last month, announced resumption of students, while members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities in the school insisted on continuing with the strike until the national body of ASUU calls it off. Students of NUD Grammar School, Okebale in Oshogbo, Osun State, have said that the lack of a science laboratory has limited their knowledge of science courses and affected their performances in previous examinations. This prompted the Okebale community to rehabilitate and equip the school's science laboratory with the support of Osun Community and Social Development Agency. Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade, who filed in this report, says relief has come the way of the students with the construction of the new laboratory.
The ranking of Osun State in terms of the performance of senior secondary school students in West Africa Examination Council remains a serious concern. In WAEC, Osun was rated 29th out of 36 states in Nigeria, which was traced to the lack of adequate teaching facility in the science laboratories. As part of effort to address the challenge, the Okebale community in Oshogbo rehabilitated and equipped the science laboratory of NUD Grammar School in the community to enable them improve in their science courses and compete favorably with their peers in other schools. One of the students, Latifat Lawal, who was excited about the new science lab, said they will make judicious use of the laboratory.
In our previous examination, promotion examination, we were asked the practical questions, but we do not have a laboratory then, so we do not know how to answer the questions. But now our forthcoming exam will be good because we now have a laboratory to perform all our experiments.
A community leader in Oshogbo, Professor Yahaya Babatunde, said the intervention will change the narrative going forward.
Definitely, when you have a very well-equipped laboratory and the science students are well trained, they are well tutored, they are well mentored through this equipment. Definitely, they are going to perform very, very well.
The General Manager of Osun Community and Social Development Agency, Mrs. Fumi Aderonke Abokede, said the agency yielded the demand of the community, considering the importance of science courses in education.
It's a school that identified in conjunction with the students. They said that the science laboratory is very paramount for them, that they need it so that they can come out well with good grades in their exams. And that is what we have seen today.
Experts are of the view that science education is important to the development of any nation. Therefore, every nation must take it very serious in all institutions of learning.
The House of Representatives has passed for second reading a bill seeking to prevent the arbitrary removal of judges. The bill, sponsored by Bob Solomon from Rivers State, seeks to amend the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal. According to the lead debate by Solomon, a judicial officer cannot be prosecuted by the CCB or appear before the CCT unless he has been removed from office. He noted that the Constitution did not contemplate the trial of a judicial officer before removal from office. Bob Solomon said if the amendment is successful, a president will require approval of the National Assembly before the removal of a CJN. The bill was referred to the Committee on Judiciary. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Adepoju Sunday as the new Postmaster General of the Federation and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Postal Service, NIPOST. This is contained in a statement signed by Uwa Suleiman, the spokesperson of the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Issa Pantami, and made available to newsmen in Abuja. She said Sunday was appointed for an initial term of 5 years. The new appointee is a professional accountant and a former member of the House of Representatives who represented Ibarapa East, Ido, Federal Constituency of Oyo State. The appointment of the new Postmaster General of NIPOST is with immediate effect. At least one person died and 9 others sustained injuries in an auto crash involving a trailer and a Sharon at Bosua Junction of Gagarawa local government of Jigawa State. 20 cows also died as a result of the accident. The police public relations officer, Jigawa State Command, Lawan Shisu Adam, confirmed this to newsmen in Dutse on Wednesday. Adam said the accident occurred on Tuesday night when the trailer driver, Ahmad Abdullahi, aged 27, lost control and collided with a Toyota Sharon car on the shoulder of the road. The PPRO said upon receiving the information, police rushed to the scene and evacuated the victims and rushed them to Gagarawa Primary Health Care Center. There are over 500 species of snakes in Africa, which is home to nearly 75% of the snake species worldwide. While different types eat foods that may be strange to others, many Africans consider snakes a tasty delicacy and its meat similar to fish or beef. Trust TV came across a man who gathered a curious crowd as he sells a python and its prey in the Buhari axis of the federal capital city. The report.
Unlike the regular cost of beef, pork, chicken or fish, snake meat is considered exotic in the food industry as snake farms worldwide sell their products to companies that distribute them globally. Although some believe that snake meat is poisonous or that all snakes are venomous, some people say neither of these myths is true, while those who eat snakes claim it tastes like chicken or fish when appropriately prepared. This trader who sells fish in Ushafa, the Buhari Area Council of the FCT, says selling snakes is more profitable and that he sells them whenever he gets the chance.
We sell fish and bushmeat here. This is a python. I bought it at Kuje yesterday. I only displayed it this morning. I bought it at 25,000 naira so I can resell and make profit. This antelope was ingested by the python and I'm selling it as well. I've been selling snakes for over 20 years and people, especially restaurants, patronize me.
Contrary to public opinion, in some countries, cooking up a batch of fried rattlesnake or preparing a python steak is easy because supermarkets and stores sell high-quality frozen snakes. Darshan Hussaina Usman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Shortly, we go on another short break. We'll return after.
That's great. Good to see you.
Welcome back. Still in the news, the Federal Executive Council has put finishing touches to the 2023 Pre-Appropriation Bill, which will be presented by President Muhammadu Buhari to a joint session of the National Assembly on Friday. However, details of the document will not be released until after the presentation of the budget speech. Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, disclosed this to newsmen at State House Abuja after Wednesday's meeting of the Council. Kehinde Amodu reports.
The sole memo up for discussion on Wednesday was the 2023 Appropriation Bill, which contains budget proposals for the 2023 fiscal year. The federal government is already proposing an aggregate expenditure of 19.76 trillion naira, with a budget deficit of about 12.41 trillion naira. Some key assumptions in the proposal include an estimated oil benchmark of $70, crude oil production put at 1.69 million barrels per day, exchange rate of 435.5 naira to a dollar, and inflation rate set at 17.16%. However, President spokesman Femi Adesina says these may not be the final figures contained in the document after the cabinet reviewed it on Wednesday.
You have the revised 2023-2025 fiscal framework. You have expenditure profile. You have budget proposal. You have aggregate expenditure, overhead costs, personnel costs, capital expenditure, and so on and so forth. So all those things have been discussed, and where they needed to tweak some of the projections, that has been done. The final approved copy will be presented by the President on Friday.
The special advisor to the President also explained why the cabinet has continued to meet virtually, even to discuss crucial matters like the 2023 budget proposals.
You have to follow the protocols as done by the Steering Committee on COVID-19. And the last protocol they announced was that when you are in an open place, you are at liberty to do without your mask. But when you are in an enclosed place, then it is advisable to still use your mask. The council chambers is enclosed. There are, I think, 42 ministers. By the time 42 ministers congregate there, along with other cabinet office staff, it's becoming choked. So then it may not be advisable to have a full-blown physical meeting yet.
It will be the last main budget the President will present before he hands over to a successor on the 29th of May next year, when his second four-year term will end. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News.
The Senate has passed the 2023-2025 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper. The approval follows the adoption of recommendations made by its Joint Committee on Finance, National Planning and Economic Affairs. The report.
The passage of the 2023-2025 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper is part of readiness for the presentation of the 2023 Appropriation Bill by President Muhammadu Buhari on Friday. At Wednesday's plenary, the Senate considered a report by the Joint Committee on the Medium-Term Expenditure Framework and Fiscal Strategy paper. Among its recommendations, the committee suggests that the cost of petroleum subsidy be put at 1.7 trillion naira, different from the 3.6 trillion naira earlier proposed by the executive.
We are covered between January and beyond for the year. We are not saying that we are stopping subsidy and that from January to no, we are not. Because what was contained in my earlier recommendation was contained in scenario 2. In scenario 1, what was provided for subsidy is 6.72 trillion. While in scenario 2, what was contained in the subsidy which was brought was 3.38 trillion.
However, lawmakers strongly kicked against this recommendation, arguing that it is not visible and should be reversed to the original figure.
The committee recommends scenario 2 that we are to sustain oil subsidy from January to June. On that note, Mr. President, we need 3.6 billion to fund the subsidy. However, the committee went further to recommend 1.7 with a difference of 1.9 trillion on the component of oil subsidy.
We are capping our exchange rate to 437. Today, we all know that dollar is 740 or probably 50. And then this is what we are capping. And this thing will go down to the budget and budgetary process.
The third scenario in this whole document should include how are we going to improve our revenue? We must improve revenue. So I would say that the parameters for this MTEF is wrong. Because if we don't improve our revenue, today Nigerians can't travel.
After much debate, the Senate adopted the recommendation as amended after being put to a voice vote. In view of these current realities, the oil benchmark is pegged at $70 per barrel, daily crude oil production at 1.69 metric tons per day, and the exchange rate at 435 naira to a dollar. Similarly, the federal government retained revenue stand at 8.46 trillion naira, GDP rate at 3.75%, and inflation growth rate at 17.16%.
This is a very serious issue. We are in a very difficult and challenging economic situation. And the parliament is supposed to provide some ways out. And some of the recommendations are very far-reaching. And I believe that we need to look at them, and where we find them to be likely to be salubrious.
The Senate further recommended a comprehensive review of the waiver policy to ensure that only companies engaged in manufacturing and production are granted such waivers.
Creditors of the defunct NITEL and MTEL on Wednesday held a peaceful protest demanding their liquidation benefits. The benefits, which have lingered for over 17 years, have caused the creditors untold hardship, as Noel Sampson reports.
NITEL is a product of the merger between Telecommunications arm of the Front Post and Telecommunications Department of P&T of the Ministry of Communications and Nigeria External Communications Limited, NET. It formally commenced operations on January 1, 1985. Despite the huge amount of funds invested annually in the agency, NITEL was unable to expand its installed capacity beyond 700,000 lines up till 2001, when the government started its relegation moves. NITEL introduced mobile telephony in 1992 through a partnership with an Atlantic-based firm, but nothing changed. Operations remained inefficient, lines congested, the billing system unreliable, and the call completion rate for long-distance calls remained below 50%. By the mid-90s, it was obvious that NITEL lacked the adequate capacity to meet the growing demand for its services. MTEL was then established in 1996 as the mobile arm of NITEL. The liquidation benefit that necessitated the peaceful protest are for contracts executed from 2004 to 2005 throughout the country.
The protest took place on Wednesday at the Bureau of Public Enterprise, BEP, headquarters in Abuja. They appealed to the federal government and the vice president to help seal the situation so that their remaining money is paid.
Already, they are owing us a fabulous amount. We have tried our best. We've written so many to BP director, all the whole people, even VP, but yet no response. We are pleading to them to please pay our liquidator so that they can pay us the verified one. That's why we are here today. We are representing the rest people.
They lamented how most of the members have died due to inability to meet their daily needs, while those still alive are heavily indebted.
Our people are dying. You can see, how many of us did you see us here today? They couldn't come. No money, no transport. Only few of us you can see. We want our money, the verified creditors of Nitel MTEL, to be paid to the to the liquidator, so the liquidator could pay us. Our children are out of school.
One of the directors who spoke on the condition of anonymity said they were presently meeting to resolve the issue, adding from all indication that the money will be released soon and asked the protesters to be patient. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
A roadside bomb killed 3 United Nations peacekeepers from Bangladesh and injured several others in the northwestern Central African Republic. The peacekeeping mission MINUSCA said late on Tuesday that the attack occurred on Monday near the village of Keita, close to the border with Cameroon, in an area rife with militia activity. No militia was directly blamed for the attack, although MINUSCA head Valentin Rugwabiza condemned the use of explosive devices by armed groups. The United Nations Multidimensional Integrated Stabilization Mission in the Central African Republic said it has launched an investigation into the explosion. Let's now join Adeniyi Ajisafe for sports news.
Federal Capital Territory Football Association Chairman Edam Mukhtar Mohammed has charged NFL President Ibrahim Gusau to revitalize the game of football that has dwindled in recent years. Mohammed expressed optimism that the new NFF Executive Committee will treat football affairs more as a business venture that must grow to be the best on and off the pitch. He also advised the NFF to listen to aggrieved members of the family and resolve whatever their grievances are so that football wins always. The FCTFA chairman urged Gusau to go about the business of managing Nigerian football the same way he did with the FA chairman over the years, with humility and commitment. And still on football, Plateau United technical advisor Fidelis Ilechukwu has assured soccer-loving Nigerians that the team will get positive results in their CAF Champions League second round first leg tie against three-time champions Esperance of Tunisia on Sunday at the MK Abiola Stadium, Abuja. Ilechukwu noted that though their opponents are a force to be reckoned with in African continental football, Plateau United will not be intimidated. The former MFM of Lagos coach said his team has prepared well ahead of the match with the support of the club management and assured that they will work to get a positive result against their opponent. The Gaffer said that in football anything can happen, and that is why the team is upbeat about securing the decent result against the Tunisian powerhouse, who has won the competition on 3 occasions. Plateau United, who are representing Nigeria in the African Premier League competition for the 3rd time in 5 years, are targeting the group stage, having failed in previous attempts. The Peace Boys edged out Asumanji of Gabon 3-2 on aggregate in the first round of the competition to book their place in the second round of the preliminary stage. The winner of the second round over 2 legs will qualify for the group stage of the competition. That's Sport News. I am Adeniyi Ajisafe.
And with that, we have come to the end of NewsHour on Trust TV. You can follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ayinde Shuaga, thanking you for watching.